I need it up and down.
Why do you need up and down?
Because then it releases energy. This is more like... I think because of the trauma, I've blocked it out of my memory. I'm not light skinned. If I'm light skinned, he won't beat me as much.
It's colorism, man.
Colorism, man.
Colorism.
But I used to be resentful that I didn't get beaten in an odd way.
That...
Yeah, this glass follows me.
Some heat seeker. How does them locking the door show that they care?
Before you even have children, if you don't have children yet, like the culture you build within your household plays a big part in how you discipline your children.
You can't expect your kids to respect your husband or your wife if you don't respect them.
Yeah. Hi wonderful people and welcome back to my channel. Yeah. And look who we've got back.
Back by popular demand and that.
Popular demand. Everyone's like, oh, he should be on your channel. He should be on your channel more often. So you got him. He's back. He's back.
You said that.
A few people.
Alright, cool. Alright, on to our topic today. Our topic is going to be parenting.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk about, obviously we're parents. I don't know if you know already, but we got married in some people's eyes, quite young. I was 23, you were 24, and we had our first child at 25, and then our second at 27, and now we're a couple of years into the parenting life. And we just wanted to talk about just our experience of being parents, the difficulties, the struggles, how we go about disciplining our kids, and just how it's very different to how we were brought up.
I just want to hear your experiences as well. So if you got any experiences of how you've grown up, things that your parents might have done differently, or stuff that you might be doing differently as well, leave it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. This is going to be one that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah, it's true. So starting off, how's parenting been for you?
Parenting has been quite difficult. I just feel like, for example, getting ready. Like I used to literally, from me getting up to leaving the door, would be 20 minutes flat. Like
for me, it's been, cause like I don't know. It's like it's got its goods and its bads. The main thing I've identified is that I've lost all my freedom. My freedom is gone. It is finished. It has disappeared. I like just to go out. Just not that I'm what's the term? Resentful about it.
Yeah.
But it's more like, bruh, like I can't even just go to the shop.
Well, you can. You just have to go with them.
Yeah, but I want to just go to the shop by myself. Like everything, simple things like wanting to meet up with friends. I'll have to plan childcare. I have to see if anybody's available or free to be able to take care of the kids. If you're not free, or like we can't do things at the same time. Like you can go, then I will come, and then you can do a different time.
Everything has to be coordinated. Basically.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I found that's just been like, rah, I never expected it.
Can I just say something before we go into that?
Yeah, go on.
So when we first got married, Zori was just like, I want us to have build a culture in our house where we say please, thank you, you know. And I was just like, why? Like it's not that deep. Like especially when it was just us two, we didn't have kids at the time, and he was just like, I want us to say please, thank you, don't shout across the room at each other. And at the time I thought, okay, you're being a bit OTT about this. But as we've had children and we've implemented this culture in our household, like the word shut up is not allowed in our house kind of thing. So these simple things that you initiated has now like birthed dividends that we have children, because now we have the culture where our kids will say please for things, will say thank you, and it comes natural. Even our 2-year-old is very like, thank you, mommy. Yeah. Now that she's learning to speak.
Because like me, I'm big on respect at the end of the day. Like respect is a massive kind of part, a factor in my life. So like, obviously I want my kids to be respectful in the house.
Yeah.
I was respectful, or fairly respectul, when I was growing up as well. And I just feel like, you know, you go to Johnny's house and, you know, Johnny's saying, you know, F and B and C, K, M, and it's like, raw, like you can actually say that to your parents. You try that in Africa home and they'll deal with you. So I feel like that kind of had to get learnt very, very quickly, and we had to establish that in our home. So yeah, man, it was very deliberate, and because of that, I do feel like our kids are kind of latching on to the family kind of stuff.
They do test waters. So you like being a parent sometimes it drains. It's not easy. It's not easy, but you can. It's alright.
I do feel like as well, discipline is an important thing, and I feel initially a lot of people struggle with the word discipline, because when they think discipline, they're thinking, you know, I've got my props with me, they're thinking wooden spoon, they're thinking belts, they're thinking all sorts of stuff, like, and for me, discipline doesn't necessarily need to be that. I feel like we resort to those things because maybe that's how maybe we were taught, or maybe not. Like, if you were, you know, disciplined different, maybe leave like how you were disciplined in your experiences in the comment section. But for me, like, it was a lot of smack first and then explain later. Or
so maybe you get explanations?
To be honest, the explanation didn't come for me. I'm still waiting for the explanation.
It's okay.
I'm still waiting. Yeah.
Don't cry.
Yeah, I won't. I don't cry. Come on, man. But yeah, man. Like, literally, I was brought up like that. I was brought up very kind of like, you know, you get smacked. If you act up, get smacked. Chat nonsense, get smacked. That's literally what it was for me. So, you know, obviously you grow up with a lot of resentment because of that. So I resented my mum, definitely up until a certain point where I understood why she did certain things. But you know, before then it was just like, bro, like, why are you doing me like that?
Why are you doing me like that? But for me, it was opposite kind of thing, because I've never been beaten by my dad. I've never really been beaten by my mum as such. I've been had the little
got off.
No, but it wasn't a good thing at the same time. My older brother used to like discipline us quite a lot. So like I used to be like, why me?
What did he used to do?
Like he used to like beat us.
How? Like what, with his hand? Like
with his hand? I don't even remember that. I can't even.
You told me a funny story actually. She's got a funny story about how like you know, when you're at the table, if you ate with your left hand or something, he'd smack your knuckles with a spoon or something.
See, something like that. He would do something like that.
Yeah.
He used to do things like that, but I think because of the trauma, I've blocked it out of my memory. Honestly, I can't think of what he used to do. I just remember I used to be beaten a lot, and I used to think, you're lucky because I have no proof. I can't go to school and be like, look at me, no bruises. I have nothing to prove that I've been beaten at home. And I used to be like resentful. I'm like, why am I not light skinned? If I'm light skinned, he won't beat me as much.
It's colorism, man.
Colorism. And he won't beat me as much because then it will show, and people will be like, oh, what happened to you? And I'm like, oh look, my brother beat. I had no proof.
Were you ever like struck across the face? Was that like a big no-no for you?
Yeah,
I got struck across the face.
No, I don't recall being like hit on the face or anything like that.
Okay.
Not that I remember, but I probably was. But I've honestly I genuinely I've literally blocked it out of my mind. I just recall knowing that I used to get beaten by my older brother, but I don't recall the times that it happened and what happened at the time, because I've decided not to hold on to any of them, kind of thing. But then I had like the opposite experience in terms of growing up, like, because my mom didn't beat me.
What did she do?
Like, she just used to dash things, like. One time, she dashed wine, them glasses that you put like whiskey in, kind of those little glasses that you put the rocks on whiskey on the rocks kind of glass. Dashed it. I'm like,
that hard glass.
Like, I'm running away. This woman's sitting in the front room. yeah, this glass follows me.
Some heat seeker. Going
like,
across the room.
Like it's Nollywood. Like this glass was like, no. And then bam. But except for that, like I didn't really get beaten that much. But I used to be resentful that I didn't get beaten in an odd way.
That, you see, for me, I don't understand that.
No, let me explain.
I don't get that.
Like, for example, around the ages of 15, 16 or so, like, I went a bit, rogue. Like, used to go partying a lot, go out, won't come home for a couple of days. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's asking for me.
You see, when I did that kind of stuff, I remember we had a semi-detached house back where I lived, and my stepdad would lock all the doors.
What do you mean, like every single door?
Every single door, literally lock every single door. So if I came back after a certain point, switch off the lights in the kitchen, switch off the lights in the other room, go upstairs, lock all the doors, and I used to learn how to break into the house.
You used to break into your own house?
The least amount of noise to get upstairs. Yeah.
But it doesn't that show that someone cares enough to want to make an effort and do that?
No, if they cared, they would have stayed up, innit?
Stayed up? Are you crazy?
So anyway.
Wait, you want someone to sit up waiting for you to come back?
How does them locking the door show that they care? Think about what you said. It's all love, by the way.
It's all love.
If my parents are watching, like, it's all love.
For example, like when I used to go house parties and things like that, like I would just walk up my door. No, where are you going?
There's no like, I expect you back at this time.
Yeah, I expect you back at this time. I can go out, forget something, come back, come and pick it up in front of my mum and go back again. No one's asking me anything. While I'll have to wait for my friend, for her to hide behind a curtain, for her grandmother to sleep, and then she'll sneak out. And then I thought,
you wanted that experience?
Yeah, I wanted that. I wanted like, you have to sneak out to get out kind of thing.
I don't know.
And like even simple things, like her mum will be upset with her if she went out with no money. And I'm like her mum will beat her, like in front of us. How could she go out with no money? I'm there like, hey, is this real love? Is this what love is?
Do you know what, yeah? As funny as our kind of upbringing was, like, I want to bring it to kind of where we are in terms of our journey as parents. Because do you think a lot of the ways that we were kind of taught, or not even taught, but disciplined, has kind of bled into how we treat our kids?
I think partly with me, in terms of me snapping, like I snap and I shout a lot, kind of thing. I beat him or anything.
No,
me in public. You want me to get arrested?
Speaking of beatings, I think my stance on beatings has changed.
Has it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it initially when my first was born, like I was of the opinion that whatever he did, I'd have to discipline him for that, like physically discipline him. I had to kind of self-reflect and think, like, why am I doing this? Because I heard a lot about how, like, certain parents, they're looking forward. They're like, I can't wait to discipline my kids.
It's true.
And I'm like, bruh.
As in beat my kids, not even discipline my kids.
Obviously, growing up, I feel like I definitely took on a lot of the trauma that I had experienced as a child, teenager growing up, and implemented that. And I think a lot of it was unfair. Like, the oldest kid always gets the worst. Yeah. Always gets the worst. Yeah. Worst treatment. Like, I was the eldest, as far as I know, in my family. So
what do you mean, as far as
you never know? You never know.
Well, your mom's gonna just be like, oh, by the way.
Like, not my mum. But like, yeah, like literally, like as like the firstborn, I got it. I literally got it. Yeah. And I feel as though like my brother will keep it real. Like if you're watching, you'll know. Like, you know the deal. Like, he got it a lot easier than I did. But to be fair, I feel like the discipline and, my parents being hard on me actually benefited me in the long run. Yeah. Because I would be a much different person if I didn't.
What do you think it would have been like?
I don't know, man. But I would have been different. I definitely would have been different.
Do you think you would have been less respectful?
Yeah, 100%. I think there is a time and a place to be like, show some kind of like display physical discipline to your children. Because even biblically, Like, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child at the end of the day. That's in Proverbs. So if you don't do these things at certain time, like, your child is actually missing out. And biblically, like, you're not loving your child the way that you should if you don't show them discipline. Where we kind of go left, and I feel like definitely like the black community and even like the Asian community sometimes, I've heard some mad stories.
Really?
But Asian parents go in sometimes.
What, like beat their kids?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never.
You just thought it was black people?
No.
Nah, Asian people get it sometimes.
Yeah, I've never.
Some Asian people.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I feel like obviously we can take those things on from our parents or you know, things that we've seen. But I think true discipline is actually explaining what the person has done wrong, what the child has actually done wrong.
Yeah.
Before you actually implement the discipline, and making sure the child understands why you're reacting to them in that way. I mean, sometimes you don't have the time, innit? But other times you can actually sit there and say, you know what you did was wrong, right? You know you messed up, right? And then actually make them understand what they did wrong. Then implement the discipline, and then after that, show them that you still love them. I feel like that's the correct kind of process and way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then more understanding as well.
Yeah.
Or if you ask them, why did I do that to you, kind of thing. Or why are you being disciplined?
Yeah, I feel like however way you want to package it, I feel like that's
the
probably
key is
the best way.
explaining it.
Yeah. So at least they understand, because like I said, like I still don't understand certain beat. I got beaten one time for talking too much, and then the following week I got beaten for not talking enough.
Oh.
I'm like, hey man.
Confused.
I was confused. Bad confused.
Oh, that's a shame.
If you've had any funny stories about, you know, discipline or getting disciplined, obviously we want to know about them, innit? Because we like to laugh about that kind of stuff. We can laugh now. We cried at the time. But let's laugh in the comment section below, innit?
It's so true.
It's real.
But I think beyond that, I think before you even have children, if you don't have children yet, like the culture you build within your household plays a big part in how you discipline your children. 2, being united, because kids will,
Trust
even
me.
at the age of 1 or 2, they'll know, if there's division in the home, I will play that to my advantage.
Yeah, I mean, my eldest, like, and even my youngest as well, like, if they ask me a question and I say no, they'll go to mum and then they'll ask that same question. Or they'll play us off each other.
Yeah.
And they'll go to me first and say, Mummy said this.
Yeah.
They didn't, but they know that obviously we have to kind of agree. So if I turn around and say no, then it's like, but Mummy said.
Yeah.
So
already.
even then, they already know.
So being united is key, and your relationship with each other, showing each other respect, plays a big part in
100%.
how your children.
You can't expect your kids to respect your husband or your wife if you don't respect them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because it's all kind of, they're learning, like they're like sponges when they're really, really young. And that's one thing that I've learned.
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but like from what I've noticed, especially about my kids as well, it's just that they pick up things so quickly and so much.
Yeah. Everything.
So, everything from language to body language, every single thing. Mannerisms.
And then you start seeing your own reflection and not liking it in them.
That's the deepest one.
Yeah.
Deepest one. At this moment in time, I want to recommend a book. So it's called Dare to Discipline. Don't know whether you guys can see it there.
Yeah. I'll link it below anyway. I'll link it below. In the description box.
Like, it really genuinely taught me how to kind of discipline, and in love as well, just discipline our children. This is literally the first book that I bought on parenting. Sorry if I'm blocking your face. But yeah, literally, it answers the toughest parenting questions, and I feel like he's got a lot of insight. So yeah, man, Dare to Discipline. Big ups, big ups.